Hello and welcome to Creative Marketing TV. This is a special episode. Our show usually runs on Saturdays, but we are doing a special show today for the beginning of a special holiday week called Build a Better Image Week. My name is Susan Joy Schlief. I am the founder and host of Creative Marketing TV. And let me get myself on screen here. I'm down in the corner. Hi. So we are doing a special series of trainings this week for Build a Better Image Week. And I'm doing the first one today on Creative Marketing TV on my YouTube channel. Most of the others will be on my Facebook page using Facebook Live to live stream. And I'll tell you more information about all that at the end of the show. But for today, we're going to look at adding graphics to quotes to make quote graphics, or some people call them memes, that are so popular on social media. And I asked in my Facebook group, Social Videos Made Easy, I asked my members if they had a quote graphic they'd like to offer for a makeover, and Georgia Lee London submitted one for me. So let me bring up, I have an image of it on my slides here. So again, it's Build a Better Image Week. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the reason I'm doing all these extra trainings is because this is a build up to my book launch, which is happening on September 27th. And I'll tell you more about that at the end of the show as well. So here's the quote graphic that Georgia Lee London submitted for me to do a makeover. It's a great quote, and it's a beautiful photo. It's a little hard to read the text, though, on top of the photo. So we're going to look at building a different version of that today. And I have a little video to show you because I still can't get, using this third-party tool that I'm using for my live streams, I can't get it to show behind the scenes in PowerPoint when I'm actually working with editing something. And that's what I want to show you. So I recorded a video of it, and I will bring that up for you right now. Video to kick off our celebration of Build a Better Image Week, September 16th to 22nd. Today I'm talking about using images in quote graphics. Some people like to call them memes, but I like the term quote graphic. And one of my group members in my Facebook group sent me an image, a quote image that she would like a remake on. And so I'm looking for a new image to go with it. And the quote is about how what we think about and dwell on is what we become. So I've gone to my favorite free image site, Pixabay, and I'm searching for images that have to do with thinking. And I found a couple that I think might work. I like this one a lot. That has a lot of light colored background that'll be good for putting the quote on. I also like the fact that it doesn't show the person's face directly because these public domain images on Pixabay do not have model rights associated with them. So I usually try to avoid showing people's faces. Another one that I like is this one here, but it's kind of dark, and I think I'm going to not use that. It's just not quite as attractive an image. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. This one. It's dramatic, but the picture's a little strange, I think. So it's probably not the one that's going to get the most attention in the social media newsfeed. Same with this one here. Unless you were specifically talking about negative feelings or depression or something like that, then those would be good choices. But I think I'm going to go with something a little more neutral here. This one I like as well. Especially like the contrast of that pink sky with the green lake. It's very interesting colors, I think. And again, there's lots of light space for putting the text on. This one I like too, although it's not quite as colorful. And then I think there was one more down here. Oh, this one. I thought that was kind of interesting. I think I'll use this one. So I've already saved these, and I'm going to bring them up into my my form that I'm going to use, which I create mine in PowerPoint. So hold on a second while I get my PowerPoint file open here. Okay, I'm starting with just a blank, empty new PowerPoint file. And what I'm going to do first is change the layout here because we don't need all of this. So I'm going to go to layout and just choose, actually I usually choose title because then I can put the quote in the text box. Now, this image that my friend Georgia sent me to use is in landscape, and we could do it that way because this is a landscape image. But I think what I'm going to demonstrate here is I usually make my quote graphics in a square shape because that displays really well on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to change the slide size here. I'm going to go to Design, Slide Size, and Custom. And I'm going to make it 10 inches square. This doesn't matter because we don't have anything in there yet. All right, so now I'm going to bring in that picture that I saved earlier. Insert picture. Gotta go find it in my Pixabay folder. And when I saved it, I noticed that the keyword grass was associated with it. And there it is. All right, so then I'm going to expand this out here. Now I've saved a large version of the picture so I can expand it like this without having it affect the quality of the image. You want to be sure to save a large size image. Now, the question is, do we want to add some gray up here to put the text quote in? We could certainly do that. I can format background, use my eyedropper here to pick a gray color that will match the photo. However, you can see there's a little bit of gradation here in the colors. So to be really precise about it, we could put a gradient background up there. But I think I'm going to actually do this the other way, which would be to stretch the picture out here and then crop it off the side. Let me close this. It'll make it a little easier for us to see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to zoom out so that we can see the whole image. And notice this part here is extending beyond the edge of the slide. So I'm just going to go to Format, Crop, and cut off that part there. Now that does get rid of a lot of the clouds, but let's see if it still looks okay without them. Yeah, I think that'll still work. We could maybe cut a little bit off here. Let's see what happens with that. We go this way. And then we have a little bit more clouds left on that side. Yeah, I think that looks okay. All right, then we want to send the picture to the back so that we have the text box on top of it. And then up here, we can paste the quote, which I saved on Notepad here. So I'll just click in here and paste my quote. And of course, I'm going to want to change the color of the font. And I would change that to white. I think I might make it a little bit bigger as well. All right, and then I usually like to put quotes around mine, so I'll do that as well. And then I'm going to add a second text box for the author of the quote, just because I like to usually keep that separate. I can position it wherever I want. I can use a smaller font. I think I'm going to still make this even a little bit bigger. So we have a lot of empty space up there, so we might as well make that quote nice and big. All right. I like that. But, just for variety, we could try it with a different picture as well. But I think you get the idea now of how I work with this. The next step, though, once we have this finished, is first of all, I would probably put my branding, my website or something down here. Since this is a quote that I'm going to give back to Georgia, I'm not going to put my branding on it. She, I know, has PowerPoint, so she can open it up and put her branding in there, whatever she wants to put on there. But if you were ready to save this to post on Facebook or Instagram, what you would do now is save this slide as an image. And to do that, we go to File, Save As, and excuse me, then put it in whatever folder we want it to be in. And when you get to this point now, what we need to do is change the file type. So instead of saving as a type of PPTX, we're going to save it as an image. PNG or JPEG, either one will work. And then we can give it a title. Maybe I'll put in there Oprah Winfrey quote or something like that. And then when we click save, it's going to ask, do we want to save all slides? Well, in this case, we only have one, but normally I would just say just this one. And it will save that as an image for us. Now, I'll just mention here as well, sometimes you can get a little bit funky text when you save a slide as an image. So if you have a problem with that ever, let me know. You can always put a message on my Facebook page or leave a comment on something I've shared and ask me about the third-party tool that I use for saving images like this from PowerPoint, saving them at a higher resolution. There are some tricks for how to do that, and I use a third-party tool that really helps a lot with that. All right, so I hope that was informative. Let me get myself back on webcam here. Hi. I know it was a little long video, but hopefully a fairly good demonstration. I know as I was watching it, it was backwards. I hope it didn't come out backwards for you. If it did, I can record another one for you. But I've done them that way before, and they usually come out right. So, all right. So I'm going to bring my slides back up, and let's compare the quote graphic we started with. Huh, why isn't that coming up? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so we started with this one, which was very long, sideways. And we created a square version instead with nice big text that has a lot of contrast against the background. It's not quite as colorful and beautiful a photo as this one. And you could use this photo as well. I just would probably put a little bit darker text maybe for one thing, and maybe a little bit larger as well. It's kind of hard with an image like this to do the text perfectly though, because you have different shades in the background. Against the white, it shows up really well, but against the blue, not as well. So, all right, we'll see what Georgia thinks about that. Anyway, those give you some ideas to get started with Build a Better Image Week, making sure that your text shows up well against the background, making sure your text is large enough, putting your author name in a separate box so that you can reposition it if you need to. That comes in very handy if the clouds were over on this side, for instance, you would need to move the name away from that and maybe move it over to the middle instead of on the side. I just have found over the years that having that separate makes it much easier to, you can always drag it way down here if you needed to get it in some place where it showed up well. It doesn't have to be right next to the quote. Of course, you could change the font as well, but in general, I try to keep the font pretty simple on my quote graphics just so that it's very easy to read quickly. People are scrolling through their news feed. They're stopping sometimes because they see a quote they like, but often it's because the image attracts them. And then you want to make it easy for them to skim the quote as quickly as possible. All right, so as the week goes on, I'll be talking about a lot more topics related to building a better image for different types of content. And again, this is part of my 2-week series of free trainings. I actually started with the training yesterday, which is on my YouTube channel as well. You can take a look at that if you want, about creating online training, online courses. And today's is about building a better quote graphic. So if you are interested in learning about the rest of these trainings and getting a schedule to keep track of that, you can get this schedule. I'll put a link in the description underneath this video so that you can just click on that to sign up to get this schedule of free trainings. And when you do that, then I will also send you a notification about the free, excuse me, not free day, but the cheap day for buying the Kindle version of the book on September 27th. And when you purchase on that day, not only will you get the book for next to nothing, but you will also get access to an extra bonus, a course that I have put together to get you started implementing the ideas in the book. So I'm going to take a quick look at whether we have any questions posted. And I don't see any, so that is fine. If you have questions later as you're watching the replay, be sure to leave a comment and I will respond as quickly as I can. So I hope you're going to celebrate Build a Better Image Week with me, and I look forward to seeing some of the content you create and share on social media. If you try a quote graphic using what I taught in this video, go ahead and tag me on your post when you share it, and I'll take a look and add my comments. All right, thank you for watching. My name is Susan Joy Schlief. This is Creative Marketing TV, and we're talking about Build a Better Image Week. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you in a future show.